Good morning, everyone. Let me just turn this music down. Hope you're doing well. Sorry for the only slightly late start. It's okay. So today we're going to get into some of the games from LTA North. I picked FlyQuest and C9 because they were the best teams last year. I really like the fact that FlyQuest have kept the same roster. We're starting to see that become much more of a thing. Morning, Corrigan, morning. Again, a name that I really should. I need to just. If you tell me what you want me to call you, and then I'll write it down somewhere because quadirat demonstrandum is gonna be is gonna be a mouthful. QED. Okay, I like that. We can do that. Sure. Okay. So, as before, I haven't seen this game. I also haven't seen any of LTA North. There's only so much time in the day. So, we'll get into it straight away. Same as before. Jumping around, writing on it, pausing. We'll see if they are better standard than the LEC, which I think is always the most fun question to ask. Let's get to the end. It's going to be the Rel and Casio, so Corki flexes the bot lane. And then last pick is probably going to be Ezreal. I think that's quite good. That's fine. Okay, so every scene lays out their bans differently, which I think is quite annoying when you jump around and you're not familiar with each scene. So I'm assuming it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I could jump back and check, but then I have to find this freeze frame at the end. So correct me if I'm wrong, but we'll go forward with that assumption. Cassante first pick, we've seen a bunch. Rumble is up here as the trade, but still just super strong, good in the lane swap and good normally. Same as always, Skarner, permaband. Hopefully we'll see that change and we're moving to 1.3. We played with Skarner yesterday and it's still Skarner, but it's not super broken, I think. I think it's still powerful. Corki Zyra, really like this as the rotation because when you've got the Zyra, the Corki can definitely go into mid lane. This is literally the exact same 1, 2, 3 we did yesterday in our first game. Into it was what Skarner and something Skarner Mel, but via Jace here. Instead, Jace is a good pick into the Cassante. The lane works fine. The swap is slightly better for Cassante than it is for Jace, but this is again pre-nerf Jace as well, so it'll be the tanky build most likely. But a lot of flexibility in terms of roles and in terms of where you're gonna what you're gonna build. Then a 0-3, we've talked about this before. When you're in this situation, you either say, right, we're going to take something into the AD, but then it's flex. So here they just take a good, strong mid laner. They can double ban for it, but they don't even need to. So they just ban another AD carry in case the Corki's mid. You be in this situation, and a lot of times on the cast, they'll say, when you ban an AD, they'll say, oh, so they're assuming the Corki goes mid. No, you just know it can go both. And in most teams, it's not decided until the rest of the second phase comes through. So it's not like a case where a ban in AD is useless because the Corki ended up being AD carry. Because maybe if they'd have got Ashe, Ashe would have been AD. So this is always still good and one of the things of the flex. Then Leona on 4 without a Braum ban, actually. But when you've got Jace and the flexibility of taking Ezreal still on 5, I think if enemy takes Braum, they can lack engage. And it is the Rel instead. So worse for the lane, but better engage champ gives you more chance to go in. And then Casio in mid lane, who again responds poorly to the potential range threat here. And Azir as well. So I'm not a big fan of the Casio, but good into the Vi and potentially Leona. But Leona can not commit on the engage as well, which is one of the reasons why she's so strong in these kind of situations. So I'd rather take the Ezreal, put the Corki mid and take the Ezreal myself. To be honest. Could have gone Ezreal Braum and put Corki mid. But Fly, of course, have their very own interpretation of the meta and their own way to play. So that's the weird thing about doing these like draft discussions, is that I can never say anything is wrong, because it's just for them, and for them is going to be different. They have not only different information but different players, all those kind of things. So I do find it always a little bit silly, but it's interesting to see like how the draft breaks out. Okay, so we'll see if they go for the swap. Zyra much faster in the jungle, so that means that if you both know where each other are, it's almost always going to be favorable to the faster clearing jungler.
Number 1 seed, rank 1 LTA North team, heading down to the Americas tournament there to represent us in that tournament.
And remember, it's not just for the title of being the number 1 seed. It means you also get to play the weakest Brazilian team when you first get there. Our number 1 plays against their number 4, and then vice versa.
Yep.
So you get the top spot, you get to beat up their weakest guy. You get a nice, what is it, like, confidence booster match, just straight into Brazil. You're on their turf. You can start off with
ATA call it the team bonding matches.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for them, they actually then lost to that team bonding.
So you have to stack around to start with the plants, but it's going to be a lane swap coming out for C9 actually.
Pathing away from the lane swap, and a lane swap enacted by Cloud9. No deep wards, so they didn't get the early alert yet. But
no one got any wards in, so just really passive level 1. But they see him, so he's going forward to try and get some XP, but they zone him away from the first 3. Whippo might have got XP though. Yeah, there you go. So this looks bad for Whippo. You're like, okay, he's half HP, enemy top lane is still full HP, but actually he's got all the XP from the first wave, so definitely worth it.
Currently has fully cleared that kind of weak part of the map. So we'll track it and see, does he cross from blue quadrant to blue quadrant here? Because if you do, then you can play off your pushing bottom lane of Masu and Busio.
But I think they can fight for these camps. I don't think you can invade here as Zyra, because Leon is already going to come around for the swap, because they can't, like, as soon as he gets XP, I think you can't dive him. I mean, maybe you can't dive him anyway, to be honest. It's Cassante. So that means you come down and play to defend a crash. And that means you're not even outnumbering as FlyQuest. You're not outnumbering on this side, so you can't just take these camps away. So Zyra's here first because she clears faster.
Sven with the flash forward, but he misses the follow-up damage. No chance to kill Whippo after that one, but really playing aggressive here.
Okay, resources exchanged. It is interesting because they should know.
Sven almost goes and gets the kill.
And reviving up on that top side is going to be kind of the reverse scenario here. Sven going in once again, they'll try and keep up as much damage, as much bully potential.
Well, I like this, like multiple lanes.
And try and get that recall out. Let's see about the recall on the bottom side. Already started there. Yep, Masu and Busio switching right on over. So they'll head over. No problem.
All right, TP going bottom.
Now we'll see they swap back. Ezreal crashes, bot lane crashes as well. Ezreal gets chased away, doesn't quite die. So what do they do lane assignments? C9.
For this play, Loki forced to use a decent amount of mana to jump back to turret, but that is all it's going to cost him, just a little bit of mana.
Yeah, he'll be happy with that one. He's not too pressed about losing that much of the bar.
So they are going to go back top, and it's going to be a match. Grub is up in a minute, so you do need to have your top laners bot side if you can, because if you don't, then they'll just get grubs for free, and people still would rather take the grubs than.
Yeah, inspired here with his finished faded ashes, ending on the bottom side once again. Both of them are double protective control wards up for Cloud9 to try and see if there is any sort of movement there. But 20 seconds on grubs, you have to assume the Zyra team is going to be able to move up to that. Quad now level 6 on his Cassio as well. Goes to drop the extra ward here. So interesting. They assume that there's going to be an attempted objective trade, and they want the extra vision on it because they do have the.
But they can't trade this, can they? They have mid and bot push. How do Vi can't get this? Like, so Vi is just wasting time. Wait, why aren't we stopping? What? I think Viper can't take this. I don't know why. Both pushes and they can't. Because Quad just goes to base. Is it not worth stopping his dragon? You're half mana, so you want to get full mana in a buy, I guess. But the buy is not exactly amazing, and we just give them grubs. Okay, that's kind of confusing actually to do it on ×2 and have both. So we jump back, but we should take these grubs and just push away Vi. We literally have push right now. He can't do it. He can do it in like 10 seconds. You come, he leaves it, you leave, he goes back to it, but you slow him down.
I wanted to see if this control invested to see Dragon was going to do anything, but Inspired's actually caught for the counter dive.
Inspired dropping the strangle thorns, immediately kills Falcon. They followed up. It's a double for the jungle CEO of FlyQuest.
I mean, not just efficient Flowers. He's got double full clears into grubs into double kill at the tower. Inspired will be the one to track 4 gold here. Massive boost to him now.
I thought he was going to stay and take the enemy golems, but didn't think he had the time.
And almost immediately walk away from it because the burn is going to do so much work finishing. So we'll see about the continued full clear. It was actually a FlyQuest initiated.
So FlyQuest start fighting because Zyra is on the top side, and so even though they. even though they die, they get everyone really low. So
your CEO is here to clean up for you. Inspire comes up and is able to finish the job.
Yeah, works out perfectly for the side of FlyQuest there to come back, end up coming out on top of that one anyway. They got
still don't think you should give them the dragon for free though.
Secured the first 3 grubs. Meanwhile, C9 taking that first Drake, the Hex Dragon, who will not get a Hex Soul, so no gates, no superpowered soul if you manage to collect all of the first 4. FlyQuest 1 kill away from the feat of Warfare. Both teams making slow progress towards that neutral objective one. And I feel like most of the time, you don't really ever see the turret feat until 14 minutes anyway, and the plates are gone, so that one's still a ways away.
Yeah.
He's going to take the thing over the wall.
The wall, easy peasy. So where is the speed demon going to go?
He's cruising.
He wants that tiny bit. There we go.
There it
Get
is.
the other one too.
One last shot from the plant. Nicely done.
So it actually is really big. The tiny krugs have a huge amount of the gold value in them. So cleaning up every little.
I mean, that's a really sloppy recall.
He's cruising.
He wants that tiny.
Why are we just walking up and recalling really far forward when our rel is just recalled under tower? So we just lose our cleanser for free? We get stopped and lose cleanser? Like, why? What's the benefit of recalling here?
Now, we did see Monster have to spend the cleanse up here on the top side. Did get caught a little bit, so wanted to make sure that he did not get away a free kill against C9. Still, we've got a minute and a half until the next grub spawn, so 2.5 minutes away from the next dragon. I feel like in most games, Kobe, unless somebody's really running away with it in the early game, teams will usually try to challenge that second set of grubs.
Okay, so Busio comes and gets some deep wards. But he's just really... Okay. So like, so they don't have push in mid, and so they're coming in here. Like, your top laner with push is still there, and your mid laner obviously is going to be second on the play. So this is really aggressive, like this run round. I think they maybe mistimed where Vulcan is going to be, because Busio should just insta-die here, I think. Oh, I jumped back. He takes too long to die, and Zyra gets a nice combo over the wall.
Yeah, honestly, FlyQuest will take that one happily. Able to get the kill onto Loki again, and Loki doesn't have teleport because he had just used his teleport again. So this is
I don't think that should go like that. I think Rel should die and then no return kill, I think. Let's see what actually happens in terms of... Maybe I'm just completely misreading it. So Cassio's already coming.
Was not ignited, would be able to get out of it, but
Okay.
He's able to get them grouped up for Inspired, and Zyra over the wall sets it up for Quad to be able to flash in.
Okay. Maybe it's okay. It's quite quick. Like, I don't think you really have that window, but if you collapse on it quickly, then it works. And again, we miss, because you often do in pro games, we miss how they're going to get prio for this grubs. They just give up mid wave, but they've... Okay, right. So they just fully give up bot side to play for these 6 grubs.
So with a full 6-pack of grubs picked up, FlyQuest are positioned well to take turret plate money as well as burn through.
And they trade
Quite nice for them,
half a wave and 2 plates for it.
Just the 1,000 gold for the team, but kind of where it has gone for them.
And those big spikes, I'm glad that you bring up the first couple of items. We already mentioned the Andrews on the Zyra, Blackfire Torch on the Cassiopeia, dots on dots on dots on dots. Both of these champions so obnoxious to deal with at this point in the game.
It's still already like a difficult situation, I think.
They are now only 1 neutral objective away, by the way, the next dragon spawning in about 10 seconds, from being able to
Already we're looking at... Oh, actually, we're looking at Blabber take a little bit of a chunk, a big chunk.
Yeah, we got a whole all-in coming out from Whippo, but now Thanatos is looking to make a difference in the fight here himself. Whippo going back in a 1v2. He is not scared of these guys. Make a 1v3 as Vulcan to make his entry. Third and total.
Okay. Casante's so great.
At this point in the game, and FlyQuest now with all 6 guns in their possession, that is so much turret taking power, and they are now only 1 neutral objective away, by the way, the next dragon spawning in about 10 seconds, from being able to claim the extra boost of feats of strength.
Yeah. Already we're looking at...
So he knows Zyra's coming, so he can start this fight. But he doesn't actually need him, I don't think. But now it's 2v4.
I feel like we saw real-time ego inflation off of the 1v2. He was like, yeah, I'm going to keep going. And he got a little bit like blood crazy. He was like, I can win.
But he does get dragon for that.
But
Zyra ults to just enhance the plants to just rush the dragon as quickly as possible. So you trade a kill for dragon, that's fine, because he pushes like 2 people away.
That is a massive amount of resources from C9. They now no longer want to fight for the Drake. The feats of strength go over to FlyQuest. Honestly, I'm gonna call that good death.
Yeah, still good, still good. Honestly, too, I don't think they're done down here.
No, sir, Thanatos in danger. Monster putting the damage on, but not quite enough. Thanatos can clear out the wave. The Ignite not gonna take him anywhere even close to dead. Still above half HP. Whippo coming back down here has flash. Oh, no, here we go. Flash, Sharon strike, and there we go. Whippo's bloodthirst will finally be sated as he claps down Thanatos.
Flowers, this game.
And they just ignore top side and hard commit on the other side of the map, because they've got the 6 grubs, so like they're always going to win the trade. They're going to get this tower first, even though Azir's pushing fast. He hasn't got Nashes yet, but Azir does push fast. But it's just 6 grubs.
So the AD threat is also going to be here for FlyQuest to complement those dual AP carries that already got fed quite nicely.
It's scary, man.
Double AP is better than it used to be, of course, because one of them should just go for this Bloodletter's Curse.
Yeah. They did get their feats of strength, and Cassio, although Cassio has no feet.
Yeah, no shoe.
Chat, how many feet does Cassio have? And also,
how many feet? Not just the number. Make sure you say how many feet does Cassio have.
Yeah, how many? Oh, Thanatos under attack again.
Yeah, Thanatos is his feet are start moving. Crash down for Buzio. This time it strikes true.
Again, they super commit to this side. This time it will cost the tower, but they're going to lose that tower anyway, probably. Whippo going very aggressive in the jungle. I like this. I like this. We're talking about like LPL teams go much deeper than LEC teams. This path rather than that path.
It's like Raz or something is trying to scare you. He jumps out behind the corner and flowers just stares him down. Hey Raz, hey Raz, hey Raz.
I don't think we need to lose this whole wave to the tower as well, but
I feel like if you don't want to do that, Cassante. Cassante doesn't get good.
I mean, you don't want to do it to Whippo because Whippo has been looking fearsome in this game, and now we're going to get another attempt.
Oh, and immediately they find the lock up on Bladder, but he's made a transfer around his own engage. He's going to kill off first. FlyQuest have found the enemy jungle, but they traded their own. 1-for-1 so far. Loki trying to get away, but the Twin Fangs are out tonight.
okay. So
Whippo has been looking fearsome in this game.
we're fighting here for nothing. There's literally no camps up or anything, but both teams think they can win. So Zyra gets jumped on. C9 start that fight 4v4. But chasing into like Zyra and stuff is always going to be hard.
Splash on Loki. The two main Cloud9 carries here now down in addition to the extra kills going over. This is quite massive for FlyQuest. Let's take another look because Buzio here lying in wait to kind of go right into it. It is a beautiful snare right out of the brush onto him. So Blabber didn't really get to do anything. And so while there was the sacrifice on the side of FlyQuest of Inspired going down, they got so much more out of it. A double kill here for Masu. The Corki that we were looking at how much tower gold he got already with the extra kills on top. It is looking so nice here for FlyQuest as Whippo.
Oh, Whippo wants this. 30 Tofo strike right in the all out, going after Loki. You already mentioned the man has no flash left. His ulti's still on cooldown from the previous fight. Quad going on a killing spree, taking it down as Vulcan now needs to escape. The Eclipse makes him tanky, but it does not make him tanky enough. There's no way home for Leona, and FlyQuest just keeps getting paid.
Okay, I mean, again, it's hard to see because of the replay, but I think they just push up through mid, they ignore bot lane, and they do the same. They just overload on the other side of the map. Okay, so they have got bot lane pushed really nicely. They teleport towards top. Jace teleports, but they're just quicker. And then they're going to get Herald, and they're going to get top lane tower as well. They're going to use Herald probably to break mid lane, take all 3 towers, and this should be the end of the game.
Yes, oh my. Just one after another, after another, after another. Wow. Cloud9 is paying for FlyQuest flights to Brazil right now. They'll chase them about this, I'll tell you what.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. The free flights. That is sick. Are we going to get business? There's only one game. There's only one game. Calm down. That's true. Maybe just one seat. Don't be a game one Andy Flower.
All right, hey, I'm all right. All right. Go ahead, try to stop Blabber from being able
And
to
because they're like defending the play on the top side, they're going to lose a lot for this dragon, but they do get it, I guess. So like I said, mid lane tower goes as well. This time the second mid tower goes as well because because they went for the dragon.
Preemptively, after the last series, I submitted my vote for player of the series and player of the week at the same time. I was like, you know what? It's got to be Quid. I was amazing series. Yeah, I was so confident. However, there's often this comparison between Quid and Quad because their names are so close. And currently, Quad is making me regret my early submission because this Cassiopeia is already an outstanding performance, and I've only just started this game. Wow, look at that production right on top of it.
Look at that.
This game is only 18, almost 19 minutes in, and he's already 11k damage and dominating here on the Cassio. With most of his flashes, I think all of them, but I'm gonna go with most, just so there's possibility of leeway.
Right, yeah, give yourself some
most of
room.
them have been used forward to grab a lot of these kills, so it certainly seems like he wants to make a very strong case here to contest Quid, his evil twin, in the race for player of the week.
All right, we'll see if we can keep that tempo up. We do have Voracious Icon spawning in 25 seconds. I know it's Voracious because it wasn't Ruinous in the previous series, so I just don't believe that one exists anymore.
True. If you can't see it,
it's not there.
Then is it really does it even exist? Object permanence. I don't have it. Yeah, should we revisit object permanence as a philosophical debate?
Well, I'm not a Shaco player or Ellen player or a Twitch player, so I don't really know.
I'm going to stay on the side of science for now and say that it does. If you, okay, here we go, Buzio.
Well, it looks like Buzio's staying on the side.
Okay.
Should we revisit object permanence?
So they want to play towards this Atacan. They've already got 4k gold lead.
I'm going to stay on the side of science for now and say that it does. If you, okay, here we go.
Multiple angles that gets the Blabber flash. Costs you the Rel ult though. I'm not sure that that's if it instantly comes to a fight, I might prefer to have the Rel ult, but they're already really ahead as well. So these picks, both ults buffered each other. So Whippo is down, but Vi ult is down as well. They put the tower down, and now because it's further away, you can't just like rush back to mid. You do send someone to mid, but you can't like rush with everybody, which is what you would do if it was like Elder Dragon or whatever, because you can get back to the pit quicker, but you can't get back to this bot lane pit in the same amount of speed.
Yeah, exactly. This squad with early vision control is really hard for Cloud9 to face check into. So we'll see.
Zyra is really strong.
Cassante has been an absolute monster, and he pushes the top wave all the way in and then teleports down to add the extra pressure here. Now Loki does have teleport on the Azir. He's going to try and clean up the minion wave first.
So
and now is on the way.
Crash the top wave and teleport. Teleports are slower, so you don't want to teleport like afterwards, and also a really good front line. So wants to be in the fight. Like one can play with Zyra and one can play with Corki.
back Sven. The follow-up is not there. Sven shifting away, keeping himself alive for now. Whippo still about half HP. Already used the teleport to join the fight, so it's not like he can go back to base and heal. This is the prime state for being able to use the all-out. C9 have managed to hold the area well enough to stop FlyQuest's attempt at the Icon. But meanwhile, Vulcan face checks in the rush. He and Whippo could be a little bit of trouble. He knows Boostio down first. Sven going to kill it. Whippo brings Vulcan back as a one-for-one trade. Thanatos and Blabber coming up through the bottom of the river, but Whippo and Matsu are hurt. FlyQuest grouping up the remaining 4 players, but they don't want to overextend here in this fight. The next Drake is already live, and C9's working on it.
Yeah, that was a little bit risky there from Boostio and Whippo because Quad was bottom lane. Now this Dragon pull though. Look at the flank from Blabber on the side. He has by ulti.
Blabber wants this, but Whippo's still safe.
Fire's ult back, everyone's quite low. So it ends up being like a 50-50 and Fire's just chance back into die. I mean, that's always good. If it ended up being a 50-50 and you're like 5k down, that's always a good situation. So for C9, like FlyQuest really needs to play that better. Let's see what they should have done differently. Because like when you're this far ahead, maybe you just, I mean, what the hell was that Cassia flash?
C9's got to answer this. They can't afford to get away with the Racing Icon, but FlyQuest are starting it up and daring them to come challenge. Whippo with the third Topo strike ready. Back Sven.
What? That W is nowhere near range. So because they're just like really shallow and they're playing on this Atacam, firstly they've been a bit chunked by it. They've also had their resistances lowered that they need to reset, which they're doing now. And also Quad just flashed for fun. So Whippo looks to reset, but instead Vulcan comes in here, but C9 are just much more together. And so they know they can go. Boostio dies, but also it costs the Zyra ult as well. So now they group up 4v4. And it's actually a better situation for C9 despite the 4k gold lead. Both supports are dead, but Zyra ult down. And then Blabber's waiting on the flank. I think Blabber needs to, yeah, okay, he needs to go now. He needs to go deeper. Like if you want to fight this, you go this way and you just go for them. And I think it's probably not like a winning fight or anything like that. Like necessarily a winning fight, I mean. But it's the best fight you're going to get. If that Q hits, they kill Whippo as well, right? Because in the stun, you ult him and then he can't get the W off even. But I think you can. I think you should just go harder for this flank because you're not winning this game. So I think if Blabber comes all the way around and they just say like we're sending it here, we've got flash ult. They don't have ult. They don't have flash. We've got flash on both our carries. Like, I think you just go further around and you say, okay, fuck it, like we send it. It's very hard to do in game to say, right, we're probably going to lose this fight, but we need to make it happen anyway because we've got like, this fight is maybe like, I don't know, 60-40 they'll win. But if we don't take it, it's also like at least 70-30 that they'll win. I think that's the best shot you get.
And so getting the vision control after the fights is also quite big. Let's take a look at this smite fight here. Because they walk up and this is fair. Yeah. This is straight up good old-fashioned smite fight. Who combos better? 14, 209. Yeah, went for a little bit early there, the first one. About 209 damage, as you said, early there. And Fire was able to then clean it up afterwards. Matsu unafraid to just fly forward in this court now as well. And I like what you mentioned.
So now it's going to be Soul on the next one. And you're even further away.
It just feels impossible. You know you're going to die every single fight. You just have to try to get an ulti that makes it worthwhile. And Blabber hasn't been able to do that. All right, FlyQuest, they're trying to push up mid and bottom here to gain priority again, leading to this Otacon that is still available. They're pushing Cloud9 out of their own jungle. They successfully.
I don't know if this was just like before that Zyra became an obvious answer to Vi, but playing Vi into Cassio Zyra is just a nightmare. Like even if you're fed, I think it's hard.
Have right now for Cloud9 to get back in, but let's see if Blabber can kind of lead the way here on this Vi. It's a dangerous job, but he goes for it and he gets the controller out of try. That is actually huge. A safe pathway now lit up for Cloud9 to come contest the objective again. Well, FlyQuest would love to make those roads dangerous once more as C9 continues sweating, trying to deal with.
But they will. We'll just come back and clear these. I don't know. Like that wasn't huge to get that big board.
Their opponents are making 2 massive buffs as long as they still have enough guys left to do it. You already mentioned earlier the damage potential on objectives from Zyra and Cassiopeia. You don't need the whole team alive to take stuff with these 2 champions.
Yeah, they can burn through those things so quickly. And you can see
so they want to push up this,
mid and bottom wave first.
And they want to just fight them when they come in. They should just not give them these, like these pathways are all really obnoxious to play into Zyra and Cassio. So like they should just not give them routes here. The only real way C9 can get to this is to like push up bot lane or go all the way through mid, either which should take too long. So now Quad is positioned much better. Last time he was way too far away. Yeah, and now they lose the Atcan.
And now FlyQuest has 2.5 minutes to run the rift even harder than they already were.
And guess where they're going to run flowers? Exactly, there is one large purple objective on the map. Oh, Catacon! Yeah, because FlyQuest. That is 2 cats. 2 cats. Good job.
You gotta ask him. See if you can get one of those.
Honestly, I should, and nobody tell Travis.
Travis, you better be watching.
Exactly. That could be us. Yeah.
So
Ooh, that's a zone, or that's an arc guard I see picked up for quad flower. So extra safety here. Behind one of the mega
now
players.
it should just be fairly easy.
Dangerously close to level
They
16
start
here,
this.
so
I mean,
very,
Whipper
very
can't.
threatening
I mean, he
against
can
Flex.
die for it like he
The
always
only GA
could.
that they were
But
able to remove was Whippos, so this Baron is just. Oh, run it down. Here we go. Can they do anything? Blabber might full send for a steal.
Yeah, Blabber just has to use himself as a human torpedo and try to steal. I feel like that's the only angle. Hold on. Vulcan's Vent putting a little bit of damage here to Quad. He's low. He's not dead yet. Sven has to shift away defensively. Lucio still a lot of damage from the front line. FlyQuest has messed this up. See, not just.
I think again, this is the problem with like a Cassio pick is that you want to just be running at them and you can't be.
Yeah, Blabber just has to use himself as a human torpedo and try to
And now you're in this situation where suddenly it's not a big deal that you have Atakan because you let the Baron get quite low. So they have to turn, and they have to turn in like this non-organized way. And so they just waste a bunch of time and get a couple more withdrawals. I think they need to just push much, much deeper first and fight them if they defend the push. And then be much deeper. Like Busio can't, like they can't be all sitting on the Baron. They're literally all sitting on Vision on Baron, not just on Baron, but on Vision as well. And now two people go this way, but they've already, like C9 are already here. It's 6k and you've just been all on Vision. Just because you got Ascan doesn't mean you just ignore all these like, you can just ignore all these like basic things for setting up the objective.
As the game goes on, if Cloud9 have Vision and can get some of this long range poke down, they can certainly turn the story around on FlyQuest here. That was very, very quick. Spire's going to make a beeline over to that Dragon, but he's a little bit hesitant as far as their Vision coverage on Baron. Once they get better coverage on Baron, turns on back to it.
All right.
I think at least right back though. He's outside of range.
Yeah, the plants are a little bit too far away, but Inspire taking this will bring FlyQuest to Soul Point. Very, very important. This kind of goes back to the previous smite fight they won as well. Makes that much more important if they're now set up in this good spot for the rest of the game.
And remember, this is a Muramana Jace. Like this, he didn't go Fimbulwinter for the Bruisery Jace. The Muramana plus the Ezreal here with another Muramana transformed. That Cloud9 poke, that range that we highlighted in Champions White Flowers. That they're definitely going to need to utilize that before some of these fights actually take place to get some better footing for themselves. They did successfully avoid that Doomsday scenario that you brought up where Otacon plus Baron went over.
But the other thing I'm a little bit worried about, and this kind of ties our last 2 points in together, with the Dragon now at the Soul Point stage for FlyQuest, it's a Mountain Soul. That is so annoying versus a poke. If you're a poke team trying to play into it, the shield does so much to absorb those shot blasts, absorb those mystic shots, and if FlyQuest can secure that last one, all of a sudden the C9 win condition becomes that much more difficult. FlyQuest, I do want to see them continue trying to push this forward. It feels like they're stalling out a little bit now, as Cloud9 has been able to answer the attempts that they've made.
And Cloud9 have multiple threats. Like they have pick potential on this team too, as highlighted a lot with the Leona and the Vi. So maybe they also get themselves back into the game with some picks on side lanes. It definitely is a possibility when you have that much hard engage. Blabber, Loki, or Vulcan all could make the critical pick, but currently they've got Loki pushing bottom again. He does have his teleport ready. The Baron is running so fast though.
So again, they're just super shallow. At least Busio's like slightly on a flank. I mean, just because they're just so fast. But they're really, really shallow on this. Like they're all just actually on Baron. And it's just because they do it fast enough. And so they get Baron, but they lost like it's 4 for 2 because they're just the fight is not good. Like they're 5k up, but they're just not like they can't get on anyone. They're playing against a range disadvantage and they just can't get on anyone because they just all are sitting in pit again.
Nicely done from C9. This felt like such a dangerous game for them for so long. FlyQuest having the leads that they did, controlling all of the grubs, getting the feeds early. It felt like Cloud9 was just being suffocated out of the game. But like you've been talking about, using the range, using the poke, finding a way to handle the fight so that FlyQuest can't play their strengths. It's worked out and they're holding on. I was quite surprised that Loki also survived that. Like that was some miracle plays there from Loki. Survived in the end, got the big sweep. Trickster God. He got the last laugh in that play for sure. Even though FlyQuest got the objective first, so he's still in a situation where it's like, okay, well, FlyQuest already took the objective off the map before they lost the fight.
Do you think Atakan buff might lead to overestimating potential? I don't know. I mean, they didn't have Atakan buff there, right? Like it's run off. I think Atakan buff can make people a bit like sloppy. I mean, Bwippo's just gonna like now the game is even. Bwippo's just gonna like kill them because that's just a terrible Azir. I mean, and that gives them the game because it gives them the control of the dragon and the soul. So, I mean, this is just like super sloppy. We literally just get walked at by. I mean, we just get walked on by. Dude, Whippo is doing a work
this game. I thought it might be
I think you're right. I think, well, I don't know. I don't think this happens to like most teams. I think there maybe it did, but it seemed like they set it up the same way when they didn't have Atakan either. I think maybe they just read these comps differently. I think they can't.
Yeah, I mean, unless
They can play front to back, I guess. Maybe that's what they're going for, but they're going for these like really shallow flanks all the time.
Not too close.
And I think it's not a good situation.
Finally getting that Mountain Soul. Though, respect to Cloud9 for several of these fights that we saw in the last couple minutes to contest them a bit. In the end, it is still going to be such a massive advantage here, since you have the permanent buffs of the pushing power of Void Grubs and the safety from some of that poke damage of the Mountain Soul that you talked about, and getting all three of those last ones, adding up the passives from even the
But in the end, the game is won by Whippo just running at the enemy. They had a 5k gold lead that they just threw. And then it's back to even when Whippo just gets us soul by walking forwards.
He saw the last one, even with a large distance between him and the rest of the team. He's like, I'm going to go forward. He forces the Azir ultimate, goes straight through it, because Kasante, and then able to use his ultimate to get right back to the team and bring one target into their hands. Actually, just really beautiful stuff there. Kasante, certainly a pro champion of all time. Cloud9 do take a single objective, though. They get a little bit of a counter here. Mid lane power finally going down for themselves, getting some gold.
Now it's really hard, because they got soul as well, which is going to be really annoying for the poke, because the shield blocks it and they can recharge. Still not like the end of the game, obviously. It's much. It's still. They still got a better chance than when they were 6k down.
You're not going to have as many mistakes left. You're not going to get too many more chances. So everything's got to be clean here.
All right, let's see it. Everybody mid here, Flowers. Hey, Ram.
So if they play slow enough,
maybe
it can work.
And here we have the spawn of Baron. Looks like they're going to try and draw them in once again. Cloud9 here. Flower goes over the wall, trying to find a little bit of an angle for himself. Busio doing the same on Rel. Nobody stepping up though, nobody making that critical mistake. They know the rewards for the next team fight are massive, massive, massive here.
They're not going to start the Baron. Instead, they're just going to grab the free vision from the super powered late game Scuttle Crab. Picks that one up for Inspired. FlyQuest, control of the top side river. It is very dark. It is very scary. For C9 right now, the Baron's still not going to be attempted. Whippo, look at step forward. Monster's already lost half HP. He's going to be a little bit careful about this one. Busio looks for the angle. But does not
So these like poke wars on these objectives are actually should be good for C9, like on the waves, but they can always peel back. I mean, maybe you don't need to get a flank, so because you know the enemy's just going to walk themselves into a flank. In this scenario, when you send Cassio to another lane, yeah, I think you just play Cassio, say put Cassio towards the top side maybe, but you can't force a fight. But then Blabber just runs in like anyone could be waiting in any of these bushes. Someone could already be waiting over this wall where he blast clones. Yeah, I think the problem is as soon as I see Cassio top, enemy can engage, and if you misposition at all, I mean, so they get Baron from C9's mistake, they get Soul from C9's mistake, they get this first Baron as well from C9's mistake, just being slow on it. So FlyQuest played the early game, I think, quite well, but now it's just waiting for C9 to make mistakes.
Jungler down means they get another Baron for themselves. Let's see this time around.
Oh, that's a really cool jersey, though.
Because when you are at a little bit of a range disadvantage,
yeah, I think if you send Cassio top, or you play harder on the mid lane on the next time, but this is the problem with your comp is that you can't force engage if everyone knows where you are, and you will eventually get poked out, even with the soul.
Once again, Masu and Sven kind of trying to trade damage there early on. Masu, of course, starts with the extra advantage of the Mountain Soul, and so he leaves a little chunk of damage there on Sven. Meanwhile, just regenerates his Mountain Soul shield himself.
Okay, we've got the bottom lane wave pushing out towards that.
But with Varus banned, I think you take away Ez and put Corky mid, and it's much better. But I don't know if he plays.
It's almost 40 minutes into the game. You don't want to throw the last 40 minutes of gameplay away for a tier 2. Bigger problem though for C9. You are now looking at a FlyQuest team that has this Baron for another minute and 20 seconds, and 15 seconds from now the Elder Drake is spawning. Baron plus Elder could be a possibility for FlyQuest. The combined super buffs, a C9 nightmare.
Actually, insane neutral buffs for FlyQuest right now. Once again, they've got priority.
So again, they still lose priority on. I mean, again, are you kidding me? Not sure if they would win a 4v5 if you send Cassio top, you force them to engage or rotate, and you're on top rotating first. Yeah, I think as well, the problem is that you lose, so the problem about it would be that you would fully lose control of mid lane, and if they push mid and you push top, it's better for mid lane because it's shorter. But you have the grubs, so maybe you're fast enough. And C9 can't really... Well, they can. They have like Vi and Leona already, so they can force a fight on anyone who steps up to contest them. and they can still get into the use mid to get into the Baron. Like here, you just don't need to be here. I don't understand.
Actually insane neutral bus for FlyQuest right now. Once again,
Like, okay, for Vi, you want to be doing this kind of thing, but for the rest of the comp, I think you just don't. You don't need to. You've got Ezreal and Jace and Azir. That's who you're playing for now. Vi, what you want matters not at all anymore. You just play what the comp wants, and you running on these flanks that can force a fight, like, you just again die for no reason. They have full control of mid. It's not Atakan, so that's really important. Just push this mid lane, throw shit at them. If they go to it, you can then all come in together.
Inspire drops the LTA and goes golden. A double kill for Quad as Loki falls. Thanatos will join him. All of C9 is sunk. And FlyQuest just found exactly what they were looking for.
That Rose Flowers, that leads straight to the Nexus. They're going straight up mid.
Yeah.
It's a dub for FlyQuest. Once again, objective priority. They get him with the jump. Busio's able to find it on the
I mean, it's just Blabber, like...
into elimination point here for Cloud9 in this series.
Man, Busio knew exactly how Blabber was trying to play this game. He knew where he probably was going to be. He finds in the bush. He
You just don't, like, it doesn't matter what you want. A 0-6 Vi, like...
Cool stuff from them.
0-6 damage Vi, like, it doesn't matter what you want, to be honest.
Getting money really early on, allowing them to control the Void Grubs, get a full 6-pack. Just nicely done from them.
One split, you know, can be considered to be a fluke, so I think that from his position, I think it makes sense to be a little bit humble, but I think he's an exceptional player, and he can continue to show the world what he's capable of if he keeps his work.
Well, this is cool.
Well, and I think like your teammates have always been really supportive of you. Even like in the first week in which you were playing, like Inspired had an interview where you said like very like positive things about the entire team. He's only really spoken positively of you. Like, how do you feel being able to get the team support?
I think like when I made mistake in game, my teammates say always.
I mean, I think it's important to be humble. I think that ultimately, like, you know, he only played one split, you know, can be considered to be a fluke. So I think that from his position, I think it makes sense to be a little bit humble, but I think he's an exceptional player, and he can continue to show the world what he's capable of if he keeps his work up.
You guys feel the same? Yep. Honestly, so like, what's your shout out to the Quad and the FlyQuest fans out there? They're gonna be continuing to support you.
That was cool. Little interview in between. Bit annoying if you're on the teams, but still. Okay, let's jump forward and get into the second ban phase. I think probably they are better teams though, let's not be. Okay, Yone first pick. Varus Ashe gone, Ivan gone, Inspired, very strong one obviously, and all these weird things that FlyQuest do, so it's instantly the Smolder, probably into whoever takes Yone, because I guess Yone can be flexed.
So probably save till later. And we do get this possible Smolder mid, possible Smolder bottom pick here, though. Generally still more towards mid, especially already seeing the Yone.
Okay, so it is going to be Yone mid. They go for the Sedge and Rumble. They would have probably taken Maokai as well, like you just take Maokai or Sedge there. Then it's Dive, building Dive, best champion to best AD champion to Rumble as well. So now you can do double AD bans because there's already 2 ADs from last game gone. And oh, this I like. They put the like mid laners. I mean, it's a weird order, but like they put them together. This is a nice thing to do, so that you can just look here and say, right here, the ADs that are gone. So you've got those 2, 4, 6 ADs already gone, 7, 8 ADs already gone. I think you just ban another AD here, by the way. Unless there's no other AD that Kaiser doesn't want to play against. And Jin sounds terrible into Kaiser, but I don't know if that's true.
So much threat for backline already with dive of Rumble ultimate over the top of Yone and Sejuani. Moving forward, they don't want a Nautilus ultimate, you know, on their Smolder to hold him in place because that Smolder would just have a very tough time avoiding.
Okay, what are we going to take top?
Interesting. Galio.
I think Galio is a good pick. Into Rumble and then also into the dive.
Even earlier than that a little bit too. So definitely a Whippo. I believe it was on his. At least he had mentioned it in his stream. I don't know if it was on his graphic.
I think it was in the thread. I think it was because somebody asked him like, oh, well, what about somebody just slamming Rumble, and then he linked a screenshot of being Rumble with Galio.
Exactly. So top lane Galio here for him.
Okay, so it is going to be the Jhin.
Oh, I do not like seeing Pyke flashes.
It scares you just a bit.
It's scary when you try and play Pyke into like Galio, Maokai defenses there.
And Braum is probably going to be good into whoever you pair Kaiser with. But Alistar gives them more like engage in that extra dive if they can. Okay. I think this will be about who engages first.
Alright, so FlyQuest have had a history of success with double AD carry comps.
Both Maokai and Sedge can just like snap and engage.
like the amount of AoE that they're bringing with Galio and with Maokai here. You mentioned the speed of Rakan engages. Definitely have a lot of options for themselves. And with how controlled FlyQuest looked in game number 1, does make
Rakan can like go
even though I'm not the biggest
over
fan
and
in the current state of the champion, we'll see.
follow up with the
about how safe he can stay.
Exactly. We want to see him hitting those
Maokai. Yeah, I like the I do like the Galio. I think though one of the things that they'll find is that C9 do have better engage.
No worries. Whoever goes to,
I hope it's not 2-0, otherwise it's going to be a very quick
see
review.
what advantages they seek out before the seeding match.
Okay, let's go ahead and take stock of everything. Looks like pretty standard stuff across the board. Cleanse on both of our AD carries. Meanwhile, Vulcan with the Ignite there on the Alistar. Double defensive option instead on the FlyQuest side with Busio running the heal. They redid all the summer spell icons this year. Heal's the only one that initially threw me off because it's like the hand now instead of the bleeding guy.
Yeah,
All the rest of them are pretty similar.
Yeah, I kind of missed the old one.
Yeah, you like the bleeding guy?
But maybe, you know,
So Smolder's just going to stack up against the own.
Focus on the present and the healing hand.
Bleeding guy had nostalgia. You know, I don't blame you for that. It's like bleeding guy was one of your friends, and now he's not here anymore.
Now we got the healing hands of Busio here.
We'll see how well he can keep them, keep the rest of the team safe, set these plays for them. Like I said,
And then
last game there was a lot of pressure on Busio to remain engaged for FlyQuest. And again,
Whippo and Busio can both be like
where they might want to run to try to disengage.
peeling as well.
But it's really up to Busio to start these fights.
Yeah, it's always up to.
So it's not going to be a lane swap, but they do late invade.
And Rakan versus Maokai is gonna go to Rakan every time. I mean, Maokai's got the good old-fashioned W flashes. Definitely can make visits early on too, so those ones will be pretty easy point and click. The timer's at 20 minutes off for your Smolder comp. All right, well, we'll keep track of these stacks. All right, we'll keep track of them. Grass Smolder in mid lane, stacking up the health, stacking up the Dragon stacks as well. And Inspired yoinks away the red is spotted as well.
So he takes 2 camps, and I think Sedge isn't going to get anything on the return. So it's just a late invade that gets them a bunch of like a big jungle lead.
All right, Blabber, where are you gonna go? Sejuani that knows he's been counter jungled already.
Well, he is. He's finally slowly cleaned up the gromp.
Where's he gonna go? Sometimes you do a forced gank. Here we go.
He's just going to try and pressure on mid.
And looks like he's no longer doing that. All right.
Well, he is
Sejuani just runs around, is completely homeless for a while.
Do something here. Bottom lane pushing in. Inspired, good job here though. I think this is the better choice. Go for Gromp instead of doing your blue. He has smite. Well, his bottom lane actually getting chunked out right now.
Yeah, his bottom lane losing that 2v2. Masu and Busio stuck underneath their turret.
Inspired has smite.
Inspired wants to try to contest it.
He's just, this is completely, like, this is not close. Both these jungle games in the jungle.
Oh my head. Oh my, it's all hurting. Inspired has.
How does Blabber not have smite there?
Here, though, I think this is the better choice. Go for
He
Gromp
does.
instead of doing your blue. He has smite.
He just needs to time his E with the smite, and it should be impossible.
Inspired wants to try to contest it. He gets both camps. Inspired just made Blabber look goofy.
Oh, flowers. I know it's not a kill or anything, but to a jungler, that is my well. That is my. Oh my god, my heart.
That's a
my God,
tragedy.
my head. Oh my. It's all hurting. Inspired has just destroyed Blabber.
But he does run to the scuttle that he should know is down, so at least there's that.
Between Blabber and Inspired, Inspired has been, since Inspired came over to North America, he was like, yeah, I'm going to be the best Western jungler. And Blabber had been having this like reign of dominance where Blabber had constantly been first team All-Pro and heralded as the NA GOAT, but being able to get the smite on the blue and turns around, smashes the grump, really a little smirk. Oh,
he knows.
Yeah.
He knows.
Starting out with the counter jungling. Oh man.
I feel like if you're Blabber in that situation, it's just the instinctual enter/FF that said it's too early to surrender the game.
Do not tilt, okay?
I'm a
Focus up.
tilter.
Focus up. Yeah. Well, thankfully we are not.
Okay, so he's going to take a load of camps. He hasn't based though.
Blabber's in some danger, man. This Sejuani not off to a great start here. We'll see if he's able to recover and find some good gank angles. We do have the Void Glove spawning here in under 60 seconds now as the first Drake is alive with a Mountain Drake, and those take a long time to kill. So usually you see a lower prio one.
So it's pretty much got up. I know. That's a good thing. We're not out there. We're tilters, clearly.
Yeah, that would have been game over.
Void Garub's
Yeah, so because he didn't get any time to base.
Because Inspired goes back, he grabs his giant belt and his cloth armor to fight this, and he never had to use his potion. So
Okay. Neither of them went to base, and they just ran around farming and managed to pick everything up still.
Is one of the most critical things, and one of the big benefit, of course, of Maokai. Get to load this sucker with saplings when you're looking at fighting this fight. Support roam goes to the side of FlyQuest first tier 2. Busio heads over.
So let's see if Loki can land the Q3.
How is Busio here first, by the way? They've had literally they've had permanent pressure in bot lane.
Fun to keep track of on
a long time to kill. So usually you see a lower prio one.
So
They're just 5-minute move.
I know. That's a good thing. We're not out there. We're tilters, clearly. Yeah, that would have been game over. Void Garubs, though, will be something fun to keep track of on the radar here because Inspired goes back.
And now Alistar goes to bot lane, even though this is the wave that we want to be playing on. So Rakan just says like, okay, do you need me? No, I can just ward and then play towards the grubs. This wave is the wave that we want to fight on for the grubs. And Alistar's not here despite the fact they hit a permanent push in bot lane. So you get push and you get flash. But then how does Rumble get here? Okay. So by the end, even though you got the flash from early, you don't have the ult for quad. You don't have it on Loki either. Whippo comes down with the grand entrance. But now it's going to be even numbers. Again, seems a bit silly when you have bot push. You could have timed the crash and then made it not even numbers. Rumble ult comes down, which is massive, obviously, in these kind of fights. Just really nice, cooks everyone. Vulcan follows up with a nice combo. Whipper almost kills people on the back end, but this is just like a champ dip for this stage. So 4-0, like that should be the end of the game. Like, that one. That's a really like that Rumble ult hits all 4 people, and then the combo on 3. Like it's champions, but it's also just mechanically played not great.
That's okay. They got right here. Come here, comms. All right. Comms are good. Yeah, they're chill. They got 3 kills on Yone at 7 minutes. They're happy. Focus. We need words to know. Focus, baby. 4 kills, 3.
And you have a 20 CS lead.
Massive Yone.
Bot lane. So I guess I was wrong about the Jhin into Kai'Sa, and they could have just banned Jhin instead.
Once again, I was like, wow, FlyQuest are determining so much of this. What you want to do early is get all these cooldowns out first. So Lucio makes the first round. They're able to get Loki's flash, Loki's ult.
Now it's a 2k gold lead at 8 minutes.
But even with Lucio making that early roam, and even with getting these cooldown victories, once Vulcan did arrive, they got the bigger turnaround. They got all of the kills, really. And now both supports, once again, matching up here in mid. So really big stuff for Cloud9. It's not about being first always, Flowers, okay? Sometimes you just in the hair, the Rakan and the Alistar. It's applicable. The Rakan is way faster, but the Alistar has a better shell. A way better shell. Yeah. He's very powerful, very green. Certainly has more tanky. It's not really blue in this game with the hex tag. Yeah, that's the fancy Alistar. But it is a Drake, 4C9 as well. So
now it's just big lead in mid lane. It's going to take a long time, if ever, for quad to be like stronger. It'll be the 2 or 3 items with the IE, I guess.
Flower got that blue. Yeah, he went back to the scene of crime, and he got that blue. Counter juggles that one, takes it away. Inspired, of course, got the other side. So, but it doesn't matter about that one. Yeah. That he saw. Right side blue buff. Where the play is at. That he saw smited in front of him previously. Every other blue buff doesn't matter. Conquer your demons. Yes. Put them right back down the dirt with that blue buff. Whippo on this Galio. He's got some demons to conquer now too. It looks so good in that river fight when he first makes his heroic entrance, but then you already talked about it. It seemed like FlyQuest had done everything right, but Cloud9 ready to punch back, earning themselves this lead so far. 45 seconds to the next set of gloves. Their turnaround when Vulcan arrived and Vulcan gets the huge combo on 3 of them to set up the for the floor. It was so massive because everything had been used previously. I mean, honestly, even though we are still talking about this first play of the game, that first play of the game was that big and is going to have some important ramifications for this next set of grubs. Because now Cloud9 are going to come out and Yone's already fed, and they actually have moved him to the bottom side. His level is ready, of course. But it looks like FlyQuest are trying to make some sort of bot side focus call, give up the second pack of grubs instead.
I mean, it's just fair. Oh, they like this, right? They really like this overloading on one side, FlyQuest. They just hard commit to one side of the map. They teleport in with the item on Whippo. But I think we just run top lane, we all take grubs, and now we've got 6 grubs on the tower.
Let's see the race as well. Okay, because the grubs are really going to help in taking on the top side. And with Loki teleporting up there, 2 members DPSing that top side, plus the Void grubs, and they're going to get 6 while they're...
I mean, this is really weird.
It's towards the hair. It's back in. Quad got the head start. He was out the gate first. But it's better discipline. It's better management overall from C9 if they have that turret so close today.
They also don't overstay and bait themselves at this turret.
I mean, I think that play was...
No need to overstay and finish that tower. They get out. They don't give anything up. Even with FlyQuest making their kind of...
And now someone else is teleporting top, and they're just...
Cloud9 showing exactly what their fans needed to see after that first game. Game number 1, FlyQuest is in control the entire time. It feels like C9 is always struggling to get their...
Each time, like, they're just losing minions. Like, Whippo hasn't farmed anything for, like, minutes. And they're doing this without 6 grubs.
And I'm still kind of wondering why Vulcan started that fight so early for Cloud9. Because we already went over...
Like, why is...
making their kind of recall first, so Cloud9
So they just hard overload on this side? Just ignore it, like, just trade on the other side, don't you? Like, why is Vulcan fighting this? Why is Vulcan the one fighting this? What? It's just 4v5. You're just fighting a 4v5 when you're already going to get that tower.
And I'm still kind of wondering why Vulcan started that fight so early for Cloud9. Because
So weird.
We don't need to win the rush for first tower anymore, because the feats have already been claimed, and they removed the first tower bonus. Yeah. So let's take a look, because his Jhin is coming over, and Jhin does have long range. You know, Jhin can open up his ulti.
What?
He's up pretty early here, so his aftershock is going to be down. He's done with
But even when Jhin is here, it's 4v4.
They get counter-engaged on really nicely by FlyQuest. You know, Maokai ultimate,
And it won't be, because obviously also Kai'Sa can just run at Jhin.
But that's only a single kill, given back. And FlyQuest
That's so weird.
as Cloud9 really wants
No,
to-
Rumble gets tower anyway.
Tower anymore, because the feats have already been
Rumble gets tower, and they've already got the feats anyway, so there's no gold benefit to getting first tower anymore. It's just about getting the feats, but they've already got it because they got the first 3 kills and the first 3 objectives. So like the tower is going to go, no one can get there in time. If you reset and run to bot lane, you're still not getting that. So I think I don't know. I literally don't know what he's thinking.
Because we already went over. You don't need to win the rush for first tower anymore because the feats have already been claimed and they removed the first tower bonus. Yeah. So
You were going to get this. You were going to get bot tower anyway. He just thinks they can. He must just think they can win it.
His stun was used on Lucio. They get counter engaged on really nicely by FlyQuest. You know, Maokai ultimate into Galio taunt into Galio
But-
ultimate, and then he does have kind of a cool little insect onto Inspired there.
I don't know how they win it, but he thinks they can win it.
And you also saw off to the side, even though Sven got to start the fight with Curtain Call, Masu immediately, as soon as he sees that open up, even though you don't have vision of Jhin, you can use the lines to determine where he's at. Masu puts the threat on him. Now C9 tries to defend their tier 1 turret down here in the bottom lane. Recognizing they can't do it, they have to retreat as FlyQuest has twice.
They just do this all the time. They just hard overload on one side.
So let's see about how much damage this Rumble can do, because again, them Cloud9 getting those 6 grubs is always going to allow for a little extra leverage in these
But
trades on the recall.
they should lose mid and top inner. How do they not lose top inner?
Curtain Call, Masu immediately, as soon
Cool little insect onto Inspired there.
So I don't know how it's all set up after, but because they've had this big push in bot lane, like you'd think you can set up something by the time it comes the whole way back.
and you also saw off to the side, even though Sven got to start the fight with Curtain Call, Masu immediately, as soon as he sees that open up, even though you don't have vision of Jhin, you can use the lines to determine where he's at. Masu puts the threat on him. Now C9 tries to defend a tier 1 turret down here in the bottom lane. Recognizing they can't do it, they have to retreat as FlyQuest has twice.
So I think they should just leave mid and like already be running up to top lane to secure this top lane tower, because like here now, why are they not getting top lane?
For a little extra leverage in these trades.
And then you're trading inner tower for outer tower, and that's just always good.
After taking that bottom tower,
You get 750 gold for these inner towers, which is really, really strong. But they get the dragon instead, I guess.
They brought the whole party down here for the second Drake. They already claimed the first one. This second one's not going to be any more of a challenge, and it is a Hex Soul this time around too. If you're Cloud9, you are loving seeing that symbol on the wall.
You certainly are. And let's see about the reset afterwards too, because with the 6 grubs, look how much damage actually Rumble got done to that secondary tower up there. That thing is very low as the fight for
Maybe they thought they were going to get the top tower, I guess. Maybe the cool was that I get it anyway.
That might they might actually be able to claim that side gold pretty early on.
One thing to also update, it looks like Smolder is now 131 stacks, so he's across the second threshold, 15.5 minutes into the game. Not particularly fast, not terribly slow. I feel like it's just a little bit slower than you would normally want it to be, so still should get towards that big burn breakpoint, early 20s like he wants to be.
I've got an idea what that speed bump is.
What's that?
I think it was the fight.
Probably that.
I think it was that.
Probably that. I mean, you can still get some stacks. I can people with Snot Bubble.
Yeah, in the fight. And then
Morning, Agora.
another issue. Let's take a look. Galio ult is ready to follow up if Lucio sees an angle. They go Maokai ult first.
We're doing
Probably that.
LTA North today instead of LCK or LPL, because LPL is still off and LCK is just moving into the next round, so there's nothing I wanted to watch before the best of 5 starts.
C9 just retreats, easily walks away, takes a little bit of damage and nothing more. You can see Quad and Loki both set up in the side lane, down in the bottom side. Blade King completed for the Yone, makes him very, very deadly. Smolder's got to play very safe, very respectfully.
This feels much more like LEC standard, or maybe even like mid LEC standard, than it does LCK or LPL standard. So far, that's what I would conclude from the first game. Let's see what they go here.
Probably that. I mean, you can still get some stacks. Now you can hit 4 people with Snot Bubble.
Yeah, in the fight. And then being able to control the map afterwards is another issue. Let's take a look. Galio ult is ready to follow up if Lucio sees an angle. They go Maokai ult first.
Just enough to force C9 back. FlyQuest's goal there seemed to be more of just preserve the turret, buy a little bit of time versus a full-on.
I don't quite understand how FlyQuest seems to be permanently overloading somewhere and not falling really far behind in CS. It's because like no one has that much CS basically. Okay.
They go Maokai ult first.
Just enough to force C9 back. FlyQuest's goal there seemed to be more of just preserve the turret, buy a little bit of time versus a full-on engage. C9 just retreats, easily walks away, takes a little bit of damage and nothing more. You can see Quad and Loki both set up.
So he just can't be pushing here. You can't be showing here while you're showing everywhere else as well.
Loki now needs to try to escape as the Snot Bubble finds the maximum range and Inspire's on the hunt. Wants to chase after, walk up here a little bit more, chases him through the Q3, and one last hit from Quad, sneezes him straight to death.
Okay, got some money, got some stacks down there. It's going to be sacrificing the top side of the map again. They're constantly making the cross map plays. Remember when they sacrificed the second grub pack? They're like, you know what, after the first fight, we're totally not going to be able to fight this. Let's go for a bottom side play instead. They did the same thing here. They're like, you know what, they're going to go for Rift Herald. We make the bottom side play. We make our pick. Tapped on Loki.
The thing is that like Loki needs to know that the only play available to FlyQuest is to go for him.
Remember, Loki was the one who got 3 of those first 4 early kills, so quite big there. Quad will be very happy about that one, though, as you said, still has a ways to go. And I remember...
Oh, what, Loki didn't show on lane?
Yeah, in the fight.
But he just doesn't...
And then being able to control the map afterwards is another issue. Let's take a look.
There's no benefit to being that close. You clear this wave, but now you back away. Firstly, you should probably just come towards mid. But now he shows. Like, now he's forward. If he'd have been running away after going into the jungle, like now he's literally hitting him under tower. He's like trying to auto quad under tower. You can be that far forward when you see everyone else, but then when they all go, like that only available play for FlyQuest is to play on the other side or to fight you, and fighting should be good.
We make the bottom side play, we make our pick, tapped on Loki. That is very valuable, getting Loki's flash and ulti down, and actually getting the kill on him. Like,
and you get flash.
got 3 of those first 4 early kills, so
I think maybe when you fuck up, you just say like, okay, fine.
And I remember, years ago, Azale was always someone who called this out a lot. When teams would not have a chance at actually contesting something, but they'd all walk up there to pretend like they did, and he would always get so frustrated with teams behaving that way. FlyQuest is doing the exact opposite, and I'm glad that you pointed out, because it's like, okay, yeah, of course you don't often want to trade a single kill for a Rift Herald, but if the only other option is to sit there and watch while they take Rift Herald, okay, good to go.
And if they're looking mid,
Inspired, in some danger, they are chopping that tree down. Mom is not going to say anything about it. Nicely done from C9 to find the pick.
yeah, Cloud9 right over the wall.
Of course you don't often want to trade a single kill for a Rift Herald, but if the only other option is to sit there and watch while they take Rift Herald,
Oh, all in mid. I'm not really sure why.
in some danger, they are chopping that tree down. Mom is not going to say anything about it. Nicely done from C9 to find the pick.
Yeah, Cloud9 right over the wall. Once again, they target Inspire. He's the first one down. They use their teleport for Loki, so they don't have their side lane push still going.
Ooh, nice. They jump in there after Whippo, who immediately have to try to flash away.
Okay, and then we engage again in a 4v5.
Beautiful moves coming out. C9 to find the pick.
Yeah, Cloud9 right over the wall. Once again, they target Inspire. He's the first one down. They use their teleport for Loki,
Okay.
so they don't have their side lane push still going.
Ooh, nice. They jump in there after Whippo, who immediately have to
Well, how does it? He eats forward.
Mom is not going to say anything about it. Nicely done from C9 to find the pick.
Yeah, Cloud9 right over the wall. Once again, they targeted Inspired. He's the first.
So we
one
all
down.
went mid for some reason.
But if the only traded with teams
Whippo teleported bot lane.
Quite big there.
Whippo teleports in.
We'll be
Here.
very happy about that one, though. As you said, still has a ways to go.
And I remember,
I guess to try and defend this tower.
Who called this out a lot when teams would not have a chance at actually contesting something, but they'd all walk up there to pretend like.
And then he walks around here. Like, how was he not so far behind on CS? Like, he's managed to pick up a lot of CS.
Is doing the exact opposite, and I'm glad that you pointed it out because it's like, okay, yeah, of course.
And now he wants to recall. So he teleported here, and now he's channeling his recall. Now they're all mid, and Inspired is just really disjointed from everybody.
In some danger, they are chopping that tree down. Mom is not going to say anything about it.
Okay.
Nicely done from C9 to find the pick.
Yeah, Cloud9 right over the wall. Once again, they targeted Inspired. He's the first one down. They used their teleport for Loki, so they don't have their side lane push still going.
Ooh, nice.
And we E forward.
Whippo, who immediately has to try to flash away, but it ain't even gonna matter. Whippo is down.
So we both die?
Alongside him. Beautiful moves coming out from C9 yet again.
I don't know. I don't like.
Third also dodged
Okay.
all three.
I don't know what I'm not seeing. This is one of those situations where this is so baffling to me that my conclusion has to be like, there's something I'm not seeing. I don't understand this last like 2 minutes at all. If someone can explain.
That was just clean. That was just clean. Danced on him and was able to clean up the objective afterwards too. Yeah, scratching his head after that one.
Yeah, he's gonna want that back. Hey, I feel like Cloud9 heard Whippo's trash talk, and they got an answer here in game number 2 for him.
Nice stuff. Nice stuff there. Let's see. Very healthy gold lead with the 6 scrubs pushing power as well. Dragon number 3 on the way, and they're not gonna waste any time.
And then he used the Herald to take this inner tower. Top lane inner tower is going to die really fast as well.
Strategies that you're just talking about. Don't go stare at the other team take an objective. That is 101, the first class that you enter, and they are going to hard push that one forward. So they force trade, and with the Rift Herald, they get the tower, plus they will get the Dragon Flower. So that is your Dragon Soul point for them. Oh, interesting. Now, there is plenty of vision here, and Vulcan's on the way to put a ward directly inside that Otacon pit. Make sure nobody sneaks anything while they're taking the trade. Okay, that's the only thing I had to avoid right there. Any sort of sneak play from FlyQuest. Can't actually take Otacon that quickly. No. And it does shred your armor and MR, so it gets you into a little dicey spot. All you need is your support to make sure you have some information.
Hey man, you want to talk about dicey spots? FlyQuest is not having anything even remotely resembling a fun time right now. 3,000 gold lead for C9, all 6 scrubs, 4 turrets to 2. They've got this 20-minute soul point with a Hex Soul. This is just a nightmare for FlyQuest. They're in a very similar situation to what C9 had in the last game in terms of trying to find some way to make Magic have a molehill and make some sort of way back in the game. And it's not working, man. And they don't even have the huge range.
You've got 197 stacks on Smolder, so you want to get 220 before the next fight. But C9 just going to start this. They have teleport on Rumble. She's coming in now. They're just playing to stall. Okay, they just keep it up. Okay. I thought they were playing to stall this. It's on 2k HP for ages.
FlyQuest showing up, looking to stop him. A nice equalizer comes down on top of the tri-brush, but Mom's ready to roar into the fight. Nobody dead on either side just yet, but Busio is taken down.
It's on 3k, just chaining them.
Getting away, but finally killed off by Sven. C9 claims voracious Otacon. They kill out all the Otacon here. I mean, and try to win, but man, it's a steep hill up.
Yeah.
And there's like no teleport on Whippo, who's like run to bot lane. So that gives you have push in top and you have teleport advantage.
Magic Mountain is a very steep mountain.
Yeah.
Try and do it. Well, actually, they're going to burn down Otacon here. I mean,
okay.
You also have to face check. They're going through control ward here, through the tri-brush. This thing's actually...
It's falling fast. C9, they've already got the Otacon down to below 4,000 HP.
Like, they ult the Maokai as if they're trying to burn it, but then they don't.
It's falling fast.
Like here, I think you just W Maokai away and you just kill it. It's got 4k. You've got Smite. That means it's got You have to do what, 2,000 more damage to this before, like, you. I think you just W Maokai away and you already have it by now. I would have felt the same as Mal there. Felt safe there as Mal there, but no idea what Galio's doing. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm not the kind of person to just say his shit without trying to fully understand why. I really don't understand. And then here, I think you just push Maokai away and you can take the objective really, really easily. But instead, you play this fight where it's all really, really close. Okay, so now this should be the end of the game. But I said that last time and it really wasn't until Blabber just entered twice in a row.
Such a better game for Blabber here in this second one. It's an ace for C9.
And people may be wondering, like, are you getting like a little bit of like whiplash from game 1 to game 2 with, you know, how one-sided they've been? But that is kind of due to the direction the meta has gone with all these objectives. It does seem a bit more snowballing, and Cloud9 showing that they too, off of the early huge growth fight that they got, are going to be able to snowball off these objectives. Here's another look at it. FlyQuest did what you do need to attempt when the enemy team is forcing Otacon like this, try and make use of the extra positioning trapped inside there and the extra shred, but man, they don't even kill Vulcan because, again, the honey fruit popped, and he's able to pick him up there, and they don't even take down the Alistar in their attempts, but yeah, like, you can't just let them have Otacon there. Unfortunately, you end up in a scenario where it is even way worse now because you all died and gave it up, and it's just kind of scuffed now. I mean, it's actually fried.
It's turbo scuffed now.
It is. Yeah.
I say pedal to the metal, but the floor has rusted through on the car, and it is flying down the highway, no brakes attached. FlyQuest trying to get in there, find some sort of pick here on Thanatos. He drops the equalizer, goes into stasis, counterattack back on Inspire, and he gets cooked.
And now we're going to fight. We're going to choose to fight against the Otacon.
He drops the equalizer, goes into stasis, counterattack back on Inspire, and he gets cooked. Thanatos still alive as the C9 cavalry arrives, and everybody on FlyQuest dies. Double kill with his man, needs another shot, but he's not going to kill off Whippo here just yet.
I mean, they didn't even get one false life.
Don't lose a man. They take out the enemy jungler and AD carry. They force their way through the tier 3 turret mid lane, and they're going to do the same thing. Bottom, Icon withdraw, finally going to be forced out here from a couple of Cloud9 players, but it's too little, it's too late, it's too damn tough for FlyQuest to hold on here. This bottom lane tier 3 turret evaporates, mid lane inhibitor is gone, C9 finally try to retreat, they're going to spend a teleport on FlyQuest side just to pop the victorious, voracious, whatever it's called, Icon. They waited out, nicely done there to allow the buff to expire and get a real kill on Sven instead.
Okay.
Really nice, honestly. Whippo did invest his teleport, as he said, to do that, but FlyQuest fighting back there. Those stacks, quad here, kind of pumping inside the base as Cloud9 reach for a little bit more. They're going for 2 lanes at once there, Flowers.
So 10k gold lead.
Finishing mid inhibitor in the aftermath.
2 tier 3's gone, 1 inhibitor gone.
Means that they instantly respawn, so they're right back up, right back out to the map in time for this dragon. The Dragon Soul arrival here. Only thing we're looking at is Loki's in base right now. He has teleports, and he's looking to make a teleport play. There are some deep wards on the map. If you look right now,
Sven also just respawned, so since he does not have teleport, he needs to join out with the rest of the team the normal way. Loki not going to go for a super creative teleport, instead just taking the safer option, the guaranteed thing. Blabber misses the Sejuani LT there in the mid lane. Want to see if he can catch Lucio.
Okay, you missed the ult, so they're going to just get the objective bounty.
so since he right back out to the map in time for this dragon. The Dragon Soul arrival here.
And you don't have tempo because it's red die.
And finishing mid inhibitor in the aftermath. But the Otacon GA means that they instantly respawn, so they're right back out to the map in time for this dragon. The Dragon Soul arrival here. Only thing we're looking at.
But you can't get the Dragon Soul because it's 45, so you can't get a position on it.
Some deep wards on the map. If you look right now,
Sven also just respawned, so since he does not have teleport, he needs to join out with the rest of the team the normal way. Loki not going to go for a super creative teleport, instead just taking the safer option, the guaranteed thing. Blabber misses the Sejuani LT there in the mid lane. Want to see if he can catch Lucio, but no such thing to happen. Thanatos with a poke on the wall. Objective bounty claimed. FlyQuest stops the Hex Soul.
that is huge. The defense
And they go to the Baron because you've got to push up in mid now, and now someone has to go and respond to the inhibs. And this time Vulcan is actually playing on flank, what Busio didn't do last time. Yeah, so it slows, he slows the Maokai and also gets him like chunked. And they get a few kills at the beginning, but it costs them everything, like it costs them all the... And that's going to be the end of the game. Okay, so taking that grubs fight, really, really silly. Then I have no idea why they fight in mid. And they all die. Okay. Good. At least there's 3 games.
So we're going to be in a possible Kaisa, like Ash World.
No, Kaisa's Fearless Band. This is just
he's doing it because of his, he always does the shout out. But Ash, Misfortune.
Ash would be the choice. Okay. Remember, this has been banned out in the previous games. Was not able to be played because of the standard bans, but this time around, because of everything in Fearless, Ash managed to slip through the cracks.
Okay, but now they've just fucked it. Like, I was complimenting them last time of like grouping the champs together, but now they just seem to all be there randomly. Now are they there just in alphabetical order? Am I going crazy? Last time I think they were grouped up. Yeah, so now they're in alphabetical order, but here, Oh, it's still alphabetical. Okay, it's just the first sets all were grouped. Mid laners, AD carries, top laners. And I was like, okay, that's cool. That's a cool way to do it. So you can see like what ADs are left. But it's always alphabetical. Well, I think grouping them by role would have been more more beneficial. Or just like even archetype, like all the ADs. Like by role would be good, wouldn't it? I accidentally thought that that's what they'd done. Okay, it was always alphabetical, and just as it so happened, the first ones were.
So we're going to be in a possible Kaisa like Ash World.
No, Kaisa's fearless band. This is just
He's doing it because of his. He always does the shout out.
So Varus, Kallista's still gone, Skarner's still gone, and Vesta's been banned the whole time, or can't remember. Aura's been banned a lot. So Ash is now the like super high prio AD. Yeah, actually, it turns out it was only the first like 3 or 4 sets that were set together. Like the last 2 were not. But
flexibility here for Cloud9 in answer makes you also think about their AD options for
Okay.
solo lanes as well.
Okay,
That would be a massive team fight.
Yeah, Wukong is one of those champions that you're seeing a lot in.
so this already on Ash, I think you could have even gone Jarvan as well, but Wukong's just a bit stronger in the meta at the
That
moment.
should be most of an Ash health bar.
The combo goes wombo, my friend.
It really does. All right. Oh, let's buff that health bar up, Flowers. You want some shields on that health bar?
Yeah. Some shield powered by some thrift store items that only cost 100 gold because they're made for support.
So they banned Ivan every game, except from the last one, where they banned Ambessa instead.
Dropping right into that one. So they got it really covered here then. They'll have massive engage options with utility of Ash Nautilus as well as Ivern, and just freeze FlyQuest up to have really heavy damaging solo lanes. Like they can pick quad and Whippo.
You could go like Braum or something already if Braum's not banned.
Already snatched up.
Just absolutely insane lockdown. Ivern root caller, Ash arrow plus the
It's so much easier if they were all just grouped in terms of the role, because then I could just look at the supports that are gone.
We'll see about what they want to deny then, because with jungle and bottom lanes just taking, I guess your protection banning for your Talia in
So
now. I mean, there's just so many options.
here we've said multiple times you've 2 approaches on your R3. You can either be aggressive like this and not match, so you get double bans for mid when you've already picked your mid, but they are going to get double bans for support, let's say, if they want them.
What else could Talia possibly be worried about?
On the other side, though, FlyQuest continuing to focus the top lane. Gnar going to be banned away for
And with Ivan, you need more damage in mid and then a big front line from somewhere.
2 of these mages from mid lane that would fit so nicely in for FlyQuest.
We go top lane here again, though. That's 5th ban for Fly.
That's most of what you're looking at with Thanatos. So they have one to kind of splash here if they want, and there they do, okay. So Mumu support, it would be a Mumu support game from Vulcan. They don't want, again, more things to layer with this.
Mumu support is weird.
For Cloud9, so they want to take that Mumu setup out of the game.
Especially when there's like Blitzcrank, there's Bard, there's Braum, there's Pantheon. I don't think a Mumu is.
Roaming support link into this game.
So with Ziggs, when you get the Lost Chapter, your support can just basically roam. So that's why like these kind of picks are good, like Pantheon and stuff like that. I've seen a bit. It's going to be Victor in mid lane, high damage carry, and probably blind tank in top lane. Okay, tanky, bruiser.
As long as Ziggs gets the timing right, then you follow it up with the Mega Inferno Bomb also from 2 miles away. Easy, massive AoE, and we are going to see plenty of damage locked in those solo lanes for FlyQuest, just like you were talking about.
Whippo special, so they must have something ready. And Camille.
Play Urgot before it gets nerfed because he's free LP. You should be playing this on ladder. He's playing it right now.
He is a very good Urgot, loves Urgot, a very, very strong champion in the 5-on-5s when we see FlyQuest and Whippo pilot it. He'll go
Okay.
and then use those Ivern shields. He's like, Ivern shields on me, because I'm going in.
I like C9's draft. You have a lot of like jump on both these like double immobile carries. Camille and Ziggs ult is really annoying, especially in the later stages of the game. You Camille ult someone, and you just throw the Ziggs ult on it, and you can't get out of the Ziggs ult, which is obnoxious and very strong.
To really try and bring something up there.
All right, let's do it. FlyQuest versus C9. Game number 3 in this best of 3.
I don't know. All I mean is, when you're playing against Whippo, you have to have had this discussion. What do we play into Urgot?
The seeding match, best of 1 right after. Loser is eliminated. Still going to have another chance next week on Sunday to play for the opportunity to go as the 3rd or 4th seed. FlyQuest having the game 1 control pretty much from start to finish, although they stalled out a little bit in the mid game. C9 control of the second game in the same kind of way. It was that 4-for-0 fight in the topside river, and FlyQuest never got their footing back.
And if we're looking at these 2 comps, like we talked about in Champ Select, they're coming in with 2 very different priorities. It is Cloud9 trying to control a lot of side lane plays in the mid game. They have really good split push. They have the roaming support in the Bard to try and make picks. Camille and Talia are so good when the map opens up and you can try and make those picks with these solo laners. And FlyQuest have got their very classic, super strong, almost fortress-like composition here that is very, very solid in the 5-on-5s. And they have the extra added benefit of the Ash Hawk shots for extra vision to be able to play kind of those tenuous times in the game where you are rotating between objectives or you're trying to tend to the side lanes. And the lane swap does get off here. So
Statistics say Camille is hard winning. Okay. Again, I would hope they've actually played it as well. They're going to lane swap though, because that's the problem with carries in competitive.
first poke, but
I think Whippo needs less gold. Again, they're both getting chunked just to get XP again.
And they have increased the experience range that you can still get it from and try and soak just on the edge of it there. And Whippo's going to immediately teleport back, level 1.
Okay, misses the first minion, but he's back in time for the second one. So be able to absorb most of this. You can also see top lane, I like the patience that we saw from Masu on the Ashe. Once Thanatos proc the adaptive shield and the passive, Masu knows the timer. He waits for the shield to fall before he fired off the auto into the volley to just guarantee you're maximizing the trade potential there in that 2v1.
It's just against double ranged, like you almost never want to play this, but they could swap back soon.
Channel camps on his blue side because he was unsure.
Oh, Flash disdain comes out from Whippo and now inspired down here in the bottom lane. Sven is under pressure. A lot of damage on the Cloud9 carry here in the bottom lane. Vulcan barely keeps Sven alive.
Yeah, Sven, Flash, Vulcan, heal.
This is the thing in the lane swaps. You have to be wary of, like, Ivan's timers are just different from everyone else's.
But can easily go back to the rest of his camps. They will respawn way later though, and Whippo also now without Flash.
Well, obviously everyone's timers are different in the jungle, but only by like, okay, this one's 5 seconds faster, this one's 5 seconds slower. Whereas Ivan has like a lot of weird places he can be and the weird timings.
And get those channels. Looks like Flowers not going to come apply any extra pressure. They're like, you know what? Level 4 Urgot is way too much. The turret ramping damage now is.
Okay, someone else is TPing, is that?
Go for anything extra risky here, and we'll just be the teleport.
Okay, so it's teleport Ashe.
And you can see there because we were hovering, selecting whatever. Whippo's Urgot down there in the bottom lane as we were watching the recall. Does go for 2 points in the queue early on. I watch Quanta, who's the challenger Urgot player from North America. This is the same tech that he does. Although you max out the W, the Purge first at level 9 to maximize your damage, remove the cooldown from that, turn it into a toggle. The early 2 points on Q gives you the extra slow, as well as the extra lasting and trading potential in lane. They can just make those early laning moments feel a lot more playable. So Whippo's the exact kind of player that I expect to do his homework on these different champions, on these niche picks, and it looks like he's doing just that.
And especially do that in the lane swap scenario where you need to be able to grab those. So now after he meets back up on top side, Thanatos coming through with the Camille with a slight CS lead for himself, for Mr. Thanatos. Bottom side, pretty even there as Ivern once again shadowing. They know that Sven does not have Flash, but can he get a good satchel?
Yep, the satchel takes him away to safety. Lucio does Spider-Man to the wall, so we're able to lock up Sven with the auto. Sven's satchel gets him away from that, so he's still not under any meaningful pressure. He'll take this.
Okay, so he's going to base, is he going to get...
And now you're seeing what I was talking about with the delayed respawn timers of your camps.
No, yeah, of course he's got to. So I'm going to have enough lost chapter as well. But soon, like, you'll see Vulcan just, like, move, and that's one of the things you always want to be considering with Ziggs. Like, we used to play Ziggs Pike a bunch. You just get a roamer. So instead, they take one for each, one side on each. You have this a lot, right? In a weird way, C9, like, they kind of want the grubs instead because Camille on the side lane. But so denying them is still going to be good. You know, it's like if you could literally choose, probably both teams would want the grubs, I guess. But because of the state of the game, getting the even trade is still good.
Yeah, and the game plan's here for them to. Ooh, there it goes to the side. Pops his passive shield.
Whippo not going to have any of that. Blabber ready to join. The Hex Tech ultimatum has already been issued. Thanatos is low, but Blabber's making sure that doesn't give Whippo any sort of angle. Use the harpoon. Easy. First blood for Blabber.
Okay.
Yeah, doesn't even have to
That was a
use
bit
his
simple.
This Wukong that just got first blood, extra money funneled in towards 24 here, still has ulti flash. That is really scary for FlyQuest members. Very nice stuff here for Blabber. That was the last like 25 seconds of Whippo's flash cooldown, by the way, that he had used in avoiding or trying to make the play on the lane swap on bottom half of the map. So that was a good timing from Cloud9, still tracking his flash.
Oof.
You want to talk about good timing? How about an Ashe arrow from all the way downtown? Loki, there's just nothing you can do once the thing connects. Easy setup for quad.
Nice one. Amasu the sniper. The Ashe, such a good utility pick there for FlyQuest. So often. That is honestly dream. That's perfect, man. That was crazy. Nailed him. Headshot. Easy kill. Talk about it. I mean, I guess
I still like C9's comp coming in the later stages of the game against his double immobile carries. But Ivan does make everything a lot more complicated.
Same thing for quad. Thank you so much, Masu, for the accurate arrow across the map.
Team game, League of Legends. Got down your teammates
Also,
and especially for FlyQuest in the mid lane, it's the same thing as your opponent disconnects for a second, you get a free kill, but now you get assist money too.
Yeah, and honestly, well, we'll see about the fight over this vision.
Ziggs with the grubs as well.
Going after Inspired, immediately focusing that enemy jungler, but now you get the instant dangerous quad going right back after him, grabbing well, slow.
That's a really nice. That's a really nice battle. Like Blabber just dies there for this.
Gets the hell away. There's nothing left for him to fight as C9 win the scrap.
That's really nice.
And that was also the difference in getting Blabber still having his flash and ultimate, not having to use them to get the first blood. He goes straight for Inspired, and even though they knock in quad closer to the team, he has confidence that Loki will be able to finish the kill on Victor, and he chases the Ivern.
Look, so
they're at least going to get one kill here, but the fact that they're able to get both is the exceptional part. It's the ultimate from
he would die. Yeah.
And you were talking about the synergies between him and the rest of the squad. It allowed Loki to be able to shove him in and then flash fall to get the quad kill. And Blabber said, you know what, you guys have that one covered. I'll get the Ivern as well. And Cloud9 get their first feat. 3 kills just like that, Flowers.
Nicely done for C9. Game number 3 looking good for him. 1,000 gold ahead. 10 seconds till our second set of grub spawn.
It is so dangerous.
So now they want to play for the second set of grubs for sure. You don't want to give 6. And you do like 3 for yourself as well. So yeah, they just trade back 3. Again, FlyQuest are going to overload the other side.
Go ahead. You know what? I think if you're Cloud9, you are loving Fearless Draft because you can get playing more Vi. Vi is gone, and now Blabber is just running the show in games 2 and 3. Well, Fearless in mysterious ways.
Yeah, it really does. Monkey King.
And Ziggs gets almost full wave, which also stops them on the cross map. So now they're only going to take a couple of plates for it.
have a massive team fight available to them. Especially since some of the money still, I mean, Quad got the early kill, even though he ended up dying, you know, it doesn't like take away your kill. So he still got his money. And I don't think he lost too much CS during his death timer. But, you know, their 5x5 will be solid with the Ivern, you know, with the Victor. As long as they have
And they go
front-to-back fighting
the dragon as well.
Can Cloud9 with this advantage, and especially all these
It's all fairly like simple so far for C9, isn't it?
will they be able to put onto display the strength
Ivan's got his first item, so even though Blabber's really fed, there's still one item to one item. Ivan's like, you know, when he gets redemption, he's like full build, is what Lucas always says, like, okay, I'm full build now. So on that spike, we want to see them try and play for some fights. One item on carries as well. Not quite one item on Whipper yet because of the swaps. He's going to go back and get it now, I guess. Or maybe he can't get it, which is why he's staying. So he stays for the next wave so he can get Cleaver. But that means he's going to be very weak, yeah. Problem is, like, now you're forcing a fight in a situation where enemy has 2 Triforces, which are like the strongest one item spike that you can get, and you don't have a completed item on your top laner who should be the strongest in that fight. And so you've got a supportive. He still doesn't have it. Okay, so that's why he stayed, I think. He really wants to get that Black Cleaver, but then you cover him to make sure he can get Black Cleaver, but the enemy covers it too. But now it's 3v3 with Zigzag coming in, Ashot as well, but they're just never winning that, just from items. Exactly what Kobe's saying. Okay. Ash came across, but probably walking in a slightly not a great position, because you often do that when you're like ulting and running bot.
Yeah, they catch him in transition there. And like the outer towers had not even gone down. And already Cloud9 are making so many side lane plays here. This one's starting out on the side lane.
Trade of the tower is nice though. But again, feats of strength already, so it's 2 towers for 1. That's the only thing that actually matters. The first tower doesn't give you anything extra.
All of these globals. And your Wukong at the top of the charts, like this is actually a dream scenario here.
So you're talking about FlyQuest team fight can still try off as long as they aren't too far behind. What is 3,000 gold and 2 dragons at 16 minutes? This is starting to feel a little dicey.
It's very behind. I mean, all these games have been one team gets really far ahead, throws, and then still manages to win. Then enemy throws back again. So we'll see if it's the same pattern. They just have so many tools to just jump forward and catch people, and like I think FlyQuest has just been like hard overloading on a lot of these plays, and now if you match them and you have stuff like Camille, Ziggs, Wukong to just jump on someone, they're going to just keep catching them, I think.
He's trying to get his Krugs. Vulcan is in the enemy jungle, placing down some vision. Inspire gonna walk through here. Vulcan sees him, wanted to go for the binding, but Inspire immediately turning right back around. Just ends up accidentally.
We should have known he was there already. I don't know why he suddenly stopped.
In that fight, of course, because they're still able to tend to the minion waves there and catch those. And then Cloud9 on respawn will be able to go collect Dragon and get the soul point. Quad here, it is imperative for FlyQuest dreams of still being able to win that team fight flowers. It is imperative that Quad still gets the majority of the gold income. Like, they really need this Victor to be massive. The AoE potential is definitely there for him, and if they can utilize that Ivern to keep him safe, then that's going to be their big possibility.
It's going to be, yeah, third dragon for Herald. I think that's completely fine. And you just play on the other side, and you let people get resets as well.
And that thing, hopefully, they'll be able to use it to just knock down mid-turret and get that gold for themselves.
The last game I was a little bit scared for FlyQuest because they had to deal with C9 that was on soul point 20 minutes in. This time, C9 is soul point 18 minutes into the game. So, very scary stuff for FlyQuest to have to deal with. They're going to have to approach these neutral objectives, these dragons, so carefully too, because if anybody is slightly off pace, slightly too
I think it's really hard already. I mean, the people just get caught all the time. So like, Thanatos is pushing, but I don't think you can be walking into river just by yourself. Does get Victor ult, but it just flashes for basically nothing. So Atkan's coming up in the top side, which is going to make Soul a little bit harder to get than it otherwise would.
This is the scary Arcane Jam. Why not so much today? Victor, yes. Urgot growl? Was that what that was, or was that you? No, I don't think Urgot growls. I don't know. It sounded like a very like a noise that sort of monster would make. Okay, well, I'm going to take that as I could be spooky Urgot Halloween haunted house. I'll take that. Spooky Urgot, I'll take that. Sure, why not? Also, we're playing out here on the side.
So Camille's strong on the side, and you're playing like 2 in mid. Ziggs can just bomb on either way, and like it's not quite the Galio Camille combo, but Camille's gonna ult someone, and then the Ziggs ult will hit them on the side, even in max range, I think. So they push up through mid, and they try and control the Atkan side.
But now we're going to have that big grouping. Whippo here trying to push out bottom lane for FlyQuest and get the answer of the outer tower. That thing's pretty low, honestly. So even though Loki's moving over, Whippo here trying to blow that thing up.
Yup, just wants to put all the damage in there, get a little bit more money for himself and the rest of the team. Turret destroyed. That'll be the second one of the game for FlyQuest, tied up 2-2 in that count. But Cody is now sub 2 minutes until what will be the Dragon Soul spawns if Cloud9 takes it.
Okay, Shadow Flame and Team 4 quad though. You know, their farming efforts have been rewarded. The victor here does feel nice despite the big gold advantage that still is there on Wukong. You know, and of course, Blabber is a huge threat to the backline of FlyQuest. Victor and Ash both being low mobility, but they have a lot of appeal to them on this FlyQuest squad. And Locket of the Iron Slayer just finished here for Busio too. So that plus the redemption from Inspired plus Inspired Shields itself, like even though Victor and Ash don't have dashes available to them, they have a lot of teammates trying to keep them up in these team fights. So we'll see if Cloud9 can get their picks continuously, because I really want to see if Thanatos' community here will pay off. Like I kept on hyping up the side lanes Flowers, but you know, that was action packed in the earlier stages, but hasn't quite been so here for the last couple of minutes. And currently Thanatos is pushing out on top side first. He just got to his 2 item power spike 2 with Sterix, so he's building a little bit for team fight 2, trying to get the Sterix life, the extra shield here if they do have to go all in on the commit.
Also worth noting the Spirit Visage, second fully complete item on Whippo. This magnifies the amount of shields and heals you receive, so he's betting on that Ivern like you talked about back in the draft. Whippo is not afraid to say, Inspired, put that on me, and this is only going to make that more powerful for him on the front line.
Right, so we've basically hit a lot of 2 item parity.
Okay, and then they just have like full positioning on Soul. Thanatos is on the top side to make sure that they can't, and now, okay, right, so they force TP to come in. Let's see, because this will be a big fight. Like this can be the game-winning fight, and it's a bit kind of last second. So they've got bot push, they've got top push, so that they can have like a ward on Atakan.
And this is only going to make that more powerful.
But this next mid wave is really important, and that's when Masso is basing. Okay, he's got TP, right? So he has the TP already. Like I think he already needs to be TPing to this mid lane, because we have to fight for this mid lane wave. But he starts the TP now. Thanatos TPs, and he's going to avoid the... I mean, this is just so scuffed.
Beautiful follow-up with a tempered fate from Vulcan. Now a ton of damage as Blabber flashes forward for the Wukong ulti.
I mean, like, they just didn't even start contesting it until it was fully up.
You know, it is very possible for us as long
Soul
as
is already up.
Basically,
this wave needs to be hard shoved in mid lane. Ash needs to be here already. They need to just one-shot this. But both Urgot and Ash are teleporting now when the objective is already like down. And now you have to face check into an area where the enemy controls with one person here TPing, one people here, so much pick potential, and no proper front line. So this just splits them up really well. One person dies before the fight even starts, and then they just can take exactly the kind of fight they want. I mean, Victor is basically dead, 99% dead before he can even move. I mean, you literally just give them everything they want.
Thank you. That was actually so quick there. Zero hesitation. Immediately snap engage there for Cloud9. They split them up. They take care of business so quickly that the tower disappears before your eyes. The dragon disappears before your eyes. Flowers. FlyQuest disappears before your eyes. Look at this. Immediately, eyes are coming in. Teleport from Thanatos on the other side. The Talia wall.
Like, I don't know how they think they're contesting this. Like, it feels like they have, again, like, I do think there's something that maybe they think they can just walk in with these comps, but I think that you can't. You have to be already there. You can't be thinking, oh shit, Dragon's Soul is up now.
But Thanatos, he then held his E and then flashed it in onto Masu. And that's why the team fight was so quick. Immediately after they took out Busio, he was able to just delete Masu on the other side of it. He stays alive because of the Sterix, and now Cloud9, with the advantage that they got off of that team fight, FlyQuest now are in kind of desperation mode.
Now they're just threatening on the sides. They have so much speed with the Soul. Thanatos goes way too far forward. Like, they always give you windows back into the game, by the way. In this series, the enemy team is always, like, both teams have always given the other team windows back in. Like, you can't be engaged on here as Wukong. You have... I don't know how he gets engaged on, but you have Clone. You can't...
Thanatos split there. We're going to listen in on what the calls were at that point, because that was just Thanatos and Blabber down there. Rest of them trying to split towards mid-quad now. Oh! Maybe that was it. Now, Atakan is actually under attack.
But it's going to give Atakan, or at least a good chance on it. I mean, they still win the fight and kill them all, I guess, but you deny the Atakan.
Okay, so Cloud9, while they do lose out on the Atakan, they still clean up up afterwards. And honestly, with the change,
But
the extra 2
just-
goals there, they still have time to reset, so they got some decent rewards, even though they don't technically count as kills. Man, that was so spread out, though, because we were trying to watch Thanatos and Blabber here in the river, right in the middle of FlyQuest and all their Ivory brushes, but then on the right side, Quad ended up in the
And now they have one person dead, and so 4v5, you start the Baron. Like, all of this is just so unnecessary to have given any of this. Okay, but they're still so far ahead, and they just... enemy can't engage on them. Okay, good.
Back to the Baron, same result. Cloud9 this time around will be able to get the objective. Actually,
But that's still, I think you have to start that as FlyQuest. Like, you have to try. You're so far behind, and they gave you this random window to take Atakan, and then... But now, like I said, I really like this comp. Like, the Wukong Camille plus the Ziggs is really nice.
Even though that hook lands, it's just onto the Bard, and it was a really good seismic shove, catching the extra member in. And once they get that, it's kind of the heart of the team. No Victor, no team fight victory for them. And also no escape for Masu.
No way out. FlyQuest, you can see some frustration on the face there of Masu. C9 having a great game 3 here. Earlier today, we saw the upset of 100 Thieves taken down. C9's in a great spot to do the same thing here to FlyQuest, the reigning LCS champions from last year. As Busio, not going to get caught out here a little bit again. Whippo trying to turn things back around to the Thanatos, the team behind him. FlyQuest hasn't lost anybody, but they are hurt. Mega Inferno Bomb comes in redemption, trying to heal up the FlyQuest squad as they continue retreating away from the unraveled Earth. C9, the War Machine, is still chugging along, and it will bulldoze this tier 2 turret.
Actually clean here. Going to finish up very quickly. Continue pushing on the next one. Quad just by the Void Staff here. He's level 16 on the Victor, but the game has really spiraled out of control so quickly. They're no longer out of parity, that's for sure. It's a 10,000 gold lead, so a necessary Void Staff, but it's just a drop in the bucket, honestly. A little bit way too far behind. Wait a second, they're going to go for another trap play.
Yeah, they're setting up here. Okay, the Blue Ward does find it.
They're just going to catch them. Gets the fear, though. Yeah. I mean, okay, they already had a lead, but that fight around Seoul was just ridiculous.
Nobody stands in their way. They are going straight to the Nexus. They are going straight to Brazil. They will punch that ticket. They will guarantee a top
Okay.
spot heading into this first American style playoff.
Interesting. Let's look at this last game. So the first game was just they got a massive lead, and then Blabber was just inting after they so FlyQuest got a massive lead, then really threw it, and then Blabber threw it back. This game, they trade the first objectives. There's a couple of random picks.
He goes straight to Victor, and you were talking about the synergies between him and the rest of the squad. It allowed Loki to be able to shove him in and be able to finish the kill on Victor, and he chases Ivan. So look at this. They're at least going to get one kill here, but the fact that they're able to get both is having his flat picks just like that. Come in a little bit quicker.
Are loving fearless draft because it's nothing but up for the monkey.
It's still fun too to your kill. So especially all these objectives. Also
With the second Drake, get another.
Oh, here it's still like fairly even. Oh yeah, they just fight really hard on enemy spikes.
And it is really spikes. And so now
Thanos out to guarantee safety for the Mega Inferno Bomb, but now it's Masu.
Towers had not even gone down, and already Cloud9 are making so many side
And then
plays
now
here.
they
On the sideline, and Thanatos
just start trading down on towers.
They are locking up the Nautilus, and he is out of there. Whippo want to come in and try to help, but instead, it's
And then they just get picked again.
So dreams of still being as for winning that team fight.
They had to deal with C9 and Camille. Could get it done. Speaking of getting picked off.
A little bit careful when they're transitioning. Yes. Also, and
Yeah.
the Loki's move takes it. Okay. Mobility, but
So even here, like, it's still okay.
Whippo is not afraid to stay inspired.
It's literally just this dragon.
More powerful for him up front line.
Right, so we've basically
Like, at this stage, you're 2k up, sure, but with 40k gold, it's not that big a deal. And now they just walk into everyone. Okay, well, that's my first series from NA. I think I probably won't do all that many of those because I like to watch LEC just because like know the people and the players. Whereas for the other regions, that's what I'm watching to try and stay up to date with the best level of competition. I'll probably watch the like finals and stuff. It'd be really fun to see the clashes, LTA North and South. But that'll be it for today. So later on, I'm going to do a podcast at 5 with Watson. So I think what we're going to discuss, let me get it open. We're going to be discussing a thing about the conditions, work conditions in the NFL, a podcast, then talking about a shot caller system that we're changing. And I want to get his take on how that works with sports, regular sports. And then maybe a couple of other things as well. So if you're around at 5 o'clock for that, do tune in. If not, the VOD will be on YouTube. But other than that, I hope you have a